You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, green dentistry. And with us, we have the co-founder of the Eco Dentistry Association, Dr. Fred Pockrass. Dr. Pockrass, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Randy. Please call me Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, okay. Now, you have a conference coming up, one of the reasons why we invited you on the program. And I guess it's the first of its kind.
Correct. It's the very first green dentistry conference of its kind. It's going to be held at the Sundance Center in Provo, Utah, weekend of May 3rd and 4th. We're really excited to be holding this event at a really beautiful Condé Nast resort, and it's an environmentally beautiful, environmentally friendly environment. We're really excited about it.
That's you and your wife?
My wife and I are the co-founders of the organization, correct.
Okay, you're excited about this. How long has this been in the works?
Well, the Eco Dentistry Association has been around since 2008, and the conference came about as a result of many of our members. We're active in over 16 countries around the world. We're in 45 states. We're in Canada. The United States.
This is a movement. I mean, this is really happening now.
The
momentum is really starting to pick up.
Absolutely, this is a movement. We're really excited about this because what's happened is that people from all around the world start to find out about green dentistry. And our members from all around the world were saying, like, well, is there a course that you guys can run? Is there a convention that you can have? Is there any way that we can get CE credits and courses for this? So we decided to put this event on. It's going to be the very first carbon neutral dental event that's ever been produced.
Interesting. Okay, and I guess people should mention, you also offer a certification to become a green dentist.
We do. We have certification programs and trainings. We have something called the Green Doc certification program, and it's a list of about 180 initiatives. It's modeled after the LEED certification program. So LEED was a designation by the U.S. Green Building Council. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy Efficient and Design, and it's a way to certify, for example, a dental practice in the same way that a building would be certified as a LEED building. So there's 180 initiatives. It's a very rigorous program, yet it's attainable.
What type of dentist will go? I mean, what are your goals? What are the takeaways that you want dentists to walk away with after going to this conference?
So the type of dentist that will typically coming to this event are dentists that are already forward-thinking, dentists that are either cosmetic dentists or high-tech dentists, dentists that are really thinking about what's the next level in dentistry, what's the next way that they can not only do something good for themselves, their patients, but also do something good for the environment.
Okay, and then, but also, and this was, we've talked in the green room. You say that in your own personal practice, by going green, you save green.
Right.
Elaborate on that.
Well, there's a common misconception that if you have a green dental practice or if you go green, it's either going to cost more. And the truth of it is that when you go green in a dental office, not only do you get to save green, but you get to make more green as well.
We're talking about money, obviously.
We're talking about money. Well, we're talking about a lot of things. So I think to address one of the concerns that most dentists have and most dental practices have is that they're concerned about how can they reduce their overhead, how can they reduce their expenses, and how could they provide a better service for their patients.
Okay, and at this conference, you're going to show them how they can do that.
Right. So
by going green.
Right. So the conference is
okay.
There's going to be a lot of tremendous learning opportunities. Dentists will be able to get continuing education credits for this conference event. We're going to be having educational and breakout sessions on the latest in digital media marketing, the latest in CAD/CAM systems, the latest in whatever is high-tech in dentistry. We're going to be talking about that. We have a fantastic panel. We have fantastic speakers. There's really great people who are going to be at this event.
The other interesting thing is you say by going green, you could attract more patients, more new patients.
Right. So every dentist wants to have a way to differentiate themselves from the crowd. So right now, just about every dentist that's practicing in a private clinical setting in the United States is doing some form of restorative dentistry, some form of cosmetic dentistry. Just about everybody now is a cosmetic dentist. Well, there's a way to stand out in the crowd. So Seth Godin wrote a book called The Purple Cow. And there's a way for a dentist who is a high-tech cosmetic dentist to be able to present their practice and really be able to stand out in the crowd and be a market differentiator. So we want to be able to show dentists and demonstrate to other dentists that there's a way that not only could they do something good for themselves, do something good for their patients, do something good for their practice, but also do something good for the environment.
So the patients are looking for green dentists?
All the time. Patients come into my practice and they want to know, like, well, tell me, doctor, what are the materials that you're using in those fillings? Are you going to be using x-rays to take a look at my teeth? And is your environment non-toxic? Because I kind of heard that there's some toxic materials that are used in dentistry. So patients are aware.
So that's a sophisticated group of patients, though.
We are looking at a sophisticated group of patients. We're looking at people who are really, the demographic of people that we're looking at are educated. They're, by the most part, they're women. I would say probably about 60 or 65% women. Women usually make the healthcare decisions for their families. And people who are really asking questions, people who are reading labels. They want to know about all the materials. There's a lot of information that's coming out now about different types of dental materials and their effects on our health. So people are really asking a lot of questions.
So with all things being equal, some people will choose this non-toxic dentist or a green dentist over another dentist. Is that right? Is that your feeling?
I would say, well, people do come and seek us out for those reasons. They've either heard about us being a green dentist, or they've heard about are interested in doing something good for the environment. Most dental practices have a huge impact on the environment. Take, for example, conventional x-rays. There's a huge impact. Not only are patients concerned about being exposed to radiation from a typical x-ray, but then there's also the developing of those films. So for example, when a dental x-ray film gets developed, it has to go into a dark room. There's toxic fixer and solutions that have to be disposed of. There's all those lead foil packets that have to be disposed of properly. That's got a huge impact on the environment. And then you have a team member or a staff member who's going into a small little closeted darkroom to develop those images and those films. When you use digital x-rays or digital technology, there's 75 to 90% less radiation for the patient. You get to see the images come up right away in front of you on a TV screen, and it's so much safer for the patient. It's so much better for the practice. It also communicates to your patients that this is a high-tech, forward-thinking practice that's using the latest technology.
What are some of the myths about a green practice that you may address at this conference?
All right. Well, the first myth is that if you're green or you're practicing green, then you're a tree hugger, and the image that comes to mind.
That's my impression before you got here, by the way.
Right. That's the image that comes to mind of like a hippie wearing overalls and having like straw stuffed out of their jacket and wearing Birkenstocks and eating granola. Well, it's far from that. Green is a state of mind, and it's not just a color. Green is a way of thinking. It's a way of taking into account people, the planet. It's also profitable. It's a way of using technology. There's, in fact, a one-to-one correlation between high-tech and green. It's a way to incorporate wellness-based practices into your practice. It's a way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. It's a way to communicate that everything that you're doing is not only doing something good for your patients, you're doing something good for the environment, you're also using the latest materials. I had a mentor once say to me, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Is there any statistical information that people are looking for a green practice?
Well, there is. In fact, there was a Nielsen study that came out, and approximately 66% of people are going to be seeking out practitioners that have a more eco lens.
Okay.
And that ties in, very interestingly, that ties in with a market segment called the low-cost consumer, which stands for Lifestyles of Health and Sustainability. Right now, there are about 100 million Americans who are basing their purchasing decisions based on lifestyle and value. This particular market segment spent approximately $290 billion of disposable income, a third of which went for healthcare. And in healthcare, we're talking about integrative practitioners, people who are practicing healthcare through an integrative lens. So people say to me things like, oh, you must be alternative. Well, we're not alternative, because if you say you're an alternative practitioner or a holistic practitioner, it means you're alternative to something else. We're actually mainstream. We're integrative.
Good. So have you seen, because in a tough economy, is your practice growing? And do you give your green approach, this philosophy and approach to technology and going green? Is it I mean, can you prove it in your own numbers?
Well, we started I've been practicing for over 30 years. In 2003, we opened up our practice in Berkeley called Transdentist. We became the very first green dental practice in the country. And we did this as a scratch practice. And at that time, people were saying, oh, you guys will never survive, you won't make it. And it turns out that not only have we survived and thrived, within 5 years, we entered into the top 10% of revenue producing practices in the country. And
interesting.
These have been tough economic times, and I feel everybody's pain. And I have to say, from our perspective, we have not experienced a down year. In fact, we've experienced growth every single year that we've been practicing. And this is for a single doctor practice. So I would say that a green dental practice not only is good for the environment, but it's good for profit. It's called the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. And we've proven that in every single possible way. Our team members are happy, our patients are happy. We have a word of mouth practice. We don't do any external advertising, where we get referrals from friends and family. People talk about us all the time. And I'm just so honored to be able to serve my community in that way, and to be able to do something good for people, and also to have a profitable business.
Will you be sharing some of these techniques at the conference? I know you have a membership, or I'm calling it a membership. There's the Eco Dentistry Association. Is it a membership?
It is. It's a membership organization.
And you share some of your systems?
We will.
That?
One of the things that I'm going to be talking about is my own personal journey of becoming a green dentist. I'm also going to be sharing some secrets and tips and techniques of meditation. So one of my own personal interests is the practice of meditation. I've been a lifelong meditator, and so I'm going to be co-teaching a course on meditation with Dr. Mark Abramson. Mark is a dentist who teaches at Stanford Medical Center, and he teaches mindfulness and meditation practices to medical students. So I'm going to have this great opportunity to teach with him. I want to be able to share meditation practices with dentists. You know, a lot of dental patients come to the dentist and they have a lot of fear and anxiety. So if I can instill that sense of calmness with all of my patients, it just makes the dental appointment go so much easier and so much better. It communicates to the patients that I really care about you, and it allows to just create a space of calm, and it's enjoyable, a much more enjoyable way to practice.
Because people don't like going to the dentist. No doubt about it.
Right. By and large, people have a lot of fear about going to the dentist. So we do a little meditation technique with all of our patients whenever they come in for dental work. We also provide foot massage for all of our patients. So whenever they get their teeth cleaned, they get a foot massage. When they have their dental work done, they get a foot massage. We even do a simple meditation breathing. We do a meditation breathing technique with all of our patients. We have everybody just calm down for a moment. Take a few breaths. Take a nice deep in-breath. Take a nice deep out-breath. And just take a moment to center.
You do this as a doctor? The hygienist does this? Who does this?
I do this as a doctor. I do this with my patients. I encourage my staff to do this. And people say, well, you know, they always feel good in my presence, so I'm always touched and honored. I get hugged every day by all of my patients.
You know, they say if you want to be talked about, I think you mentioned Seth Godin, if you want to be talked about, be worth talking about. And this is one of those things, I guess, you know, people are going to say, you know, I've never been to a dentist like this before. Or you've got to meet my dentist, right?
Right.
They probably say that about you. Now we are out of time, but final message. Right. Somebody watching this, a dentist that is considering going to the conference. Right. What do you say to them?
Doctor, you have such a tremendous opportunity to impact your patients and your community. And I know that for a lot of doctors, they feel like they're lone wolves that are practicing in their own isolated little dental practice. This is a way for you to really become part of a much larger community, be part of a much larger conversation, and recognize that you're not alone. Okay. That some of the innovations that you've been thinking of, this is an opportunity to share in a more intimate setting. We'll have a chance to get to know each other. We'll have a chance to share best practices, and we really have a chance to impact not only our patients, but really do something good for all of our communities.
So what are the different ways people can get involved in your organization?
Well, first of all, come and become part of our organization. We're a growing family. We're growing rapidly. We have dentists from all around the world. We're an international organization. We have dentists all over the world: Australia, Brazil, Europe, Canada, the United States. This is not just something that's homegrown in Berkeley. We're really part of a much larger, broader movement. We'd really love to include everybody in the conversation. Green is not just one color. It's a continuum. So wherever you are on the continuum, if you're a forward-thinking practitioner, even if you're a practitioner that's thinking about what's next, how can I get into the next level of practice, this is the opportunity for you to learn new techniques, share what you've learned with all of us, because we learn by learning from the things that other dentists have learned. We'd really love to have you join us. Please come and join us on our website, become a member of the Eco Dentistry Association.
How much is that, by the way, to get involved?
It's $39 a month.
And what do they get for that?
Out of that, they get access to all of our weekly news updates, they get access to our membership information, and they get listed on our website. Patients come out of any dental practice, patients are always coming and going. So I have patients that move out of California and they move to other states and they say, Dr. Fred, can you recommend another dentist for me? Well, I'll say absolutely, for sure. Please go to our website. We have all of our members listed on our website. patients find other doctors through our website. It's really been a great service for patients, not only in the United States, but all around the world.
Is this the future of dentistry, in your opinion?
In my opinion, this is the way that as we look in the future...
I mean, being certified as a green practice?
Being certified as a green practice, and as we look into the future, it's not going to be that it's a way of practicing, it's the way that dentistry will always be practiced, and we'll go, why, geez, how come we didn't do that before?
Now, people are at different levels of green, you say. Light green, like medium green, dark green. Then a light green would be somebody with just, what, beginning interest in this?
Sure, a light green would be somebody that maybe has, maybe they have a digital X-ray system in their office, or maybe they've just gotten one of those CEREC or those CAD/CAM systems in their office. And it's a way for them to really take that technology and be able to use it in a meaningful way and be able to communicate that to the community in a meaningful way so that they could really let patients know, let the community know that they're really doing something that's not only good for their patients, but doing something that's good for the planet as well.
Okay, good. I want to thank you for coming to the show. Very interesting.
Thank you so much, Randy.
You've been watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We'll be right back.